The message I would send to men, women, anyone out there that needs that extra help or that guidance of you're having an off day, or you just feel down on yourself. You need to know that these are just feelings. These are feelings that will last an hour, maybe a few hours, a day. They will pass and you will be okay. There's people every day all around us, that we all have our own problems. But you need to know that whether you have a bad day or not, what I used to always tell myself and what I love telling others is I go to bed every night dreaming of a better tomorrow and a more hopeful tomorrow, because I know that I'm not going to allow something that maybe happened at work or happened at school or somebody said something to me. I'm not going to allow that to control how I feel about myself, because I'm worth more than that. You're worth more than that. If you are out there and you are struggling, whether it be body dysmorphia, an eating disorder, bulimia, anorexia, even binge eating disorder, you need to understand that there's always going to be somebody else that's been there. I have been there. I have been that chubby girl in high school and in middle school and in elementary school. I've snuck food. I've, made it seem like I was okay. And I've also been that girl that couldn't even stand to look at herself in the mirror. I pinched every piece of fat that I could see on my body, measured my wrists on a daily basis, weighed myself consistently. And it didn't matter what that number said on the scale. It was never good enough when I stared at my reflection. I've been that person that has struggled with keeping my food down, purging on a daily basis, feeling worthless. Didn't matter how much I worked out, ran on that damn treadmill for hours on a daily basis. I understand, and you should never be ashamed. But the time is for you to realize that you are going to need the help. There's no saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, because who are we to say if tomorrow will come? If I wouldn't have gotten the help that I needed, I wouldn't be sitting here right now speaking to any of you. I wouldn't be able to share my story with people that I could actually save their lives. So I just wanted to say, whether it be a psychologist, a doctor, a mom, a dad, a parent of any sort, a guardian, a friend, speak up and don't hesitate, because what you're keeping locked up inside of you, you're hurting yourself. And that's probably the biggest thing that I struggled with, was I was my worst enemy. And you shouldn't be. You should love yourself. You should be the first one you love. So at the time when I had first began my therapy sessions with my psychologist, my stomach had shrunk so small because I was starving myself or binging and purging, and I wasn't keeping anything down. So my stomach was literally the size of like a dime. I couldn't keep anything down. So what I had started with, I had to start small. So I started with liquids, with dietary supplements, protein shakes. I then moved on to snacks like Cheerios and like dry cereals, granola, yogurts, anything that could slide down and slowly open my stomach up again to accepting foods. Sure, it was hard. Sometimes I would feel like the food was sitting on my chest and I just wanted to give up because I felt like I just couldn't do it. But I would take a breather and do exactly what he told me, that my psychologist told me. These moments are only going to last about 10 minutes. Walk outside, read a book, pick up your journal, start writing. Say anything, write anything, doodle pictures, call your friend, your cousin, your sister. brother, anybody, just to release those endorphins that you are so used to releasing on yourself in a negative way. I decided to release that energy in a positive way, which eventually I was down a few months. I was able to consume a meal again. And I remember the first meal that I consumed was actually something that my mom had cooked. And I hadn't been able to eat a meal that she had cooked and kept it down. I literally bawled because of happiness that I was finally that girl, that little girl that enjoyed her mother's cooking so much. And I was finally able to sit with my family again at the table and enjoy a family meal. All right, so this is my little brother Nassim. He's the youngest, I'm the oldest, and we're actually exactly alike. We're the two out of the 5 that are the most similar. We're both perfectionists and just exactly the same in every single way.
So what do you think about this Imperfect book for your sister? You proud of her? What's the story?
Yeah, I'm really happy that she's doing this because I feel like this will help a lot of other people who go through the same thing, and it'll encourage them that like they can do it and not to give up, and that God's on their side.
Something else you don't know about Nassim is that he can sing. And he used to serenade us even on some of my worst days. He would be singing every single day. One thing I admire about Nassim is he may be the youngest, but he has the most motivation I've ever seen in a kid his age. I mean, we're talking from 4 or 5 years ago, and he never gave up on that dream. He loves singing, and I can see, just like I love helping people and I'm doing this, he loves to sing, and his voice really does. It's very...
Well, I guess we're going to have to hear a couple of notes. So could you sing something for your sister?
Yeah. Don't lose who you are in the blur of the stars. Seeing is deceiving, dreaming is believing. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes it's hard to follow your heart, but tears don't mean you're losing. Everybody's bruising. Just be true to who you are.
Oh yeah. And that's what I call, folks, is a rap.
When we got the phone call that Zeiger Press wanted to publish a book for Dunya about her disease, we were really happy about it. She was mostly happy about it because she wanted to get her story out there so that she could help other kids or other individuals through what she went through and help them not suffer to the point where we had a long ordeal with it, with the insurance companies as far as her disease, getting to know it. We were very ignorant to the disease. We didn't know nothing about it. So we were just really happy that now she can tell her story and other people can relate to it, and hopefully we will be able to help a lot of people. Dunya, from when she was small, because she was my first child, she was always, she was special to me because she was my only child at the time. And she used to watch everything I did and, always wanted to help me with everything, and just was wanted everything perfect, the hair perfect, the outfit perfect. And she was just a really happy child. She just loved doing everything with her mom. That's basically what it is. I would say that Dunya probably at the age of 8 started to put a little bit of weight on. So I started to notice her eating habits were a little bit different. And instead of, when I would cook, instead of 1 bowl, as she got older, she would want 2. And then I would say to her, no, I think that's enough. She'd say to me, no, please. And she'd have a little tantrum and everything. And that's when I started to notice that she started to eat a little more than what she usually did. And ما كنتش يعني صلي والله ادعي لله كثير، بس بنتي سافرت. أنا كنت أدعي كل يوم الله يصححها ويساعدها ويسامحنا، بس بدي بنتي تكون بصحتها وتصح من هالشيء. ما بدي أشوف حدا ولاده يعني يقضوا هيك مثل ما قضينا نحن.
What was my thoughts when I saw the images in the drawing for that wonderful book coming up? Everything looked very real. I felt like I was reliving it with Dunya from day one. And I really can't wait to see that book. Oh, Dunya's darkest day, and of course our darkest day, was when starting to recognize that Dunya was constantly losing weight, and got down to about 70 pounds. And that was a very dark time for us, for my wife and I, and for our other children, because we just didn't know what to do. We never experienced a sickness like this, and we had no answers. We just didn't know what to do. That was the darkest time for us. What advice will I give other parents that may be experiencing the same thing with their children? First of all, I wish nobody experienced that with their children. Second, I would suggest that they take them to people that do understand that sickness. We had no idea that even that sickness existed when we started experiencing it with Dunya. So we were confused and lost until we started taking her to the right individuals that helped her. Basically, I would advise just pay attention to the way they act, what they're doing, and make sure that you immediately, when you notice something, to find the right help.
If I were to end up on Ellen, that would be an absolute dream. Honestly, one of the first women that I actually began reading her book was Portia de Rossi, her wife. And when I read, there was one part in it that really hit me, because she was going back to when she was binging and purging, and it was literally, it was like I was reading something about myself, something that had already been written, and I said to myself, I want to do that. I want to write a book where someone's going to be able to pick it up and say, wow, I've done that, I've been there. So to be on Ellen would be awesome. It would be, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. She actually, when I would get, on my down days especially, I would be home because I was secluding myself. When I would watch her show at 3 o'clock here, I was actually able to laugh, because she finds the joy in anything. And even during that difficult time, I found a way of laughter, and it was through her.